Hi guys, welcome to GladrapChannel.
$5,000 for the winner here tonight. That's no chump change, man. $5K. Here's the Happy Gilmore check. Try folding that up and put it in your back pocket. Anywho, 8 fighters, 7 fights, 1 champion. Only one can be champion. And this is the format that we will follow here tonight.
Hello, sis. Can you take a photo of Jerome wearing the shirt?
All right, so in 5 minutes' time, we will start the 8-man. Thank you, ladies. Mr. DJ, do your thing. Fighters are getting ready, and we're going to roll right on through the quarterfinal matches.
What's that, sorry? All right, all good. Yeah, thank you. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the Auckland 8, Dare to be Great. With you, Isaac Savage from GladrapChannel, and with me, the champ himself, Shay, Mr. Business Prop. We're getting ready now for the Super 8 Eliminator, the first fight. Shay, are you amped? Are you excited?
I am very excited for this. We have, well, 8 amazing fighters. I think James Uoka was one of the late call-ups after Ruben Webster. And who was the other one? Tyrone Warren, they two pulled out due to injury, I believe.
Here comes Jerome Pascua.
You know, Jerome Pascua fought one of my mates from Christchurch, Josh Hatherley, and I really wanted Josh to come through. I didn't know nothing about Jerome, but then when I saw him box, it was absolutely amazing. I was blown away by his skill, his angles. He's fighting out of Fernando's gym, Ortiq. Fernando Ortiq, the Filipino that's now based here in New Zealand. A lot of fights around the world, fought some of the best, and now he's bringing that culture, that boxing style here to New Zealand.
Number 1, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds of action. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing black trunks with silver trim. He's a seasoned fighter of 14 professional fights, weighing in at 72.4 kgs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is James Uoka. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, enters the ring wearing camouflage trunks with white trim. He has 3 wins, 1 loss. He weighed in, ladies and gentlemen, at 71.5 kgs. This is Jerome Pascua. 3 threes when the bell rings. Andrew Bell is your referee in charge.
As we said earlier, 5K on the line. Winner takes all. You snooze, you lose. If you don't take out the fights early, you're only going to be worse for wear in the later rounds. Would you agree on that one, Shay?
Yeah, well, I guess there's a little bit of strategy behind this as well. How you take on the first fight, so you preserve yourself for the next one, which risks, you know, which risks losing the fight potentially if you're just gonna keep your foot off the gas pedal. But then, if you try to get them out as early as possible and they're a durable opponent, well, you're gonna use all your energy up in that first fight, and
it's a hard one to
go potentially.
You don't want to blow all your steam off in round 1, but you do want to finish them. This is exactly like K1 Eliminator style, King of the Ring, as produced by Jason Suddy. We've got our own version tonight, but it's just boxing. Jerome coming out hard and fast. Look at that, 4 punches, so crisp and fast and out. The skill level of Jerome Pascua is quite high for the limited amount of fights he's had.
Well, he does have a background in Muay Thai kickboxing as well.
I saw an earlier post that I think he started off at Strike Force here in Auckland, New Zealand, and now gone to the boxing world. And we talked about the ferocity of kickboxers. Hopefully that can help him tonight bring a different dynamic to the boxing ring.
Oh, definitely. I've done many rounds with Jerome Pascua. We both train out of Boxing Central, so I know what he has to bring, and he was very confident coming into this 8-man tournament.
They take nothing away from James Walker, though. He's a bit of a veteran himself, probably a bit more experienced than Jerome, but I don't know if he's going to be as agile as quick and nimble as what Pascua is bringing to the table tonight.
Well, I look forward to the angles that Jerome has to displays in the boxing gym. Let's see if we can put it on display here tonight. You only got the 3 rounds.
You know, although it is 3-3, so it's not 3-2s, they are still reasonably long rounds. You know, that jump up from 2 to 3 minutes can feel like eternity. But the best strategy would be just to take them out early if you can, so you do have more gas for those other rounds.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's hard to say. Because taking him out early is using a lot of energy as well. Can we see the mouth guard come out of James Uoka? And like I alluded to earlier, those angles that Jerome's starting to display now are working in his favour.
You know, I don't want to call this fight too early, but remember we talked about the confidence and the way a person moves down a ring, showing them that they're in control, and I feel that Pascua is looking quite comfortable, even though it is the first round. He's sort of owning the ring and choosing his shots going in and out.
Absolutely, Isaac.
Nice left jab, steps over to the right, throws a right. Ref steps in now to put the mouth guard back in.
Jerome showing a little bit of love to the cameraman there. Tristan, $2 Mandala in the corner there.
It's always good to see the fighters with a bit of personality and have fun while they're in the ring. You know, a lot of people are just so focused.
Nice ripping body shot there. We just missed there. We missed rather.
Mouth guard comes out again.
Beautiful combination there. Just a different angle that the punch is coming on. He's coming with the uppercut straight down the middle, around the side.
End of round 1.
Lovely combination work there towards the end by Jerome Pascua. And
like I said, Jerome is certainly in control. He's throwing on angles, moving in and out, and he's looking a little bit more, I wouldn't say, he's looking a bit more agile of the two. Not experienced, because he doesn't have the experience of Uoka.
Fluid motions, movements rather.
So when you guys go round for round, how do you go? Are you guys exactly the same weight, or is he a little bit heavier?
Yeah, I think he naturally sits quite a bit heavier than me. I believe he had a couple of fights at super middleweight as well, so.
If you ever step up in weight, you might be getting in the ring with Pascua. But for now, it's just a round. So we get into round 2 now. I'm edging slightly forward to Pascua, but as we all know, it can go any way. You do want to reserve energy, but you do want to put the guy out as well.
Well, he's starting to find a home for his punches now. He's putting those combinations together very well.
Look at the way he throws his right and then gets back out. Those body shots quickly brings his guard back. He is absolutely superb tonight. His style is sublime, and he's looking really, really comfortable.
Very evasive. And it's quite tricky to come from their southpaw stance as well.
Yeah, that's another thing you got to look out for with Pascua. With that southpaw style, he'd be a very, very tricky fighter to fight him. A lot of people probably would need to do their research and homework before they fight a guy as tricky as Pascua with that southpaw stance.
Well, the thing is, he kind of came from nowhere as well. He had his first professional bout in Tahiti 3 or 4 years ago, and under the tutelage of his kickboxing coach, and well, he didn't win on that occasion, but he's got 3 in a row so far, and he's a lot more active in the ring. And we see him, he's got James Uoka in the corner now,
picking shots at will. He was absolutely throwing down, not to a stage where the ref would or should stop the fight, but it getting relatively close. You know, if he keeps taking shots like this, it's not going to be too good for the health and safety of James Uoka.
Absolutely, and he's looking comfortable here as well. You notice he's not going all out with the punches. He's, like you said, he's picking, he's staying at range, thinking about which shot he should take next. And
did Uoka just take a seat? Obviously, the round has not yet ended, and he's just taken a seat. What's going on here? He's going to get an 8 count.
Looks like he's zapped the confidence out of his opponent. And just that barrage of punches, you know, even if they're not doing as much of an effect power-wise, you know, it still takes the confidence out of you, you know. It takes a little bit of just a piece of manhood from you.
Well, what we've also got to remember too, James Uoka was probably called up in the last 24 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, he might have been training, but there's a difference between training and fight training.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't preparing for something like this. So to even get in 24 hours notice is absolutely courageous, ballsy.
Hats off to him as well. Like we mentioned earlier, we had 2 fighters pull out leading up to this fight. Ruben Webster, one of them, who fought, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago against Tim Su over in Brisbane.
The blood is flying.
And the referee
Pascua just unleashed. And is that it? Is that it? There was blood flying. There you go, Pascua through to the eliminator round. All he has to do is win 2 more, and he's taking home 5K. But who's he going to be up against next? We just don't know. We've got Kerry Davis in the mix tonight, Joshua Masters, to name a few. Savan, who is probably one of New Zealand's toughest men, will not go down.
Well, we've got an interesting matchup with Kerry Davies and Tej Singh. Well, 2 that I would have expected to be meeting later on down the track, but they've got each other first up. They got, I'd say, the toughest fights for the first fights out of the 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the dwindling moments of round 2, your referee Andrew Bell calls a start to this contest for your winner by TKO, and moving on to the semifinals. Fighting out of the blue corner, Jerome Pascua.
Almost all in a day's work for Pascua. He looked like he was in there, got the business done, and he's out probably going to ice up, rest up, and get ready for the next eliminator round.
Well, you know, another part of this, the strategy to this style of tournament, when you get a fight, I don't like to talk down about any fighter, but you know, you get a comfortable win like that. It gets all the butterflies out, blows dust off all the cobwebs, and you know, you got a lot of momentum coming into this next one. Whereas if you have a tough fight, or you have an uncomfortable fight, you know, you don't know how your next fight's going to go. It's always good to go in confident. Obviously, tough fights, it works in your favor as well.
You know, you see it in, you talked about the earlier matchup with Kerry and Prajeet Singh. Now, the difference between, I guess, MMA and kickboxing is that they're not going to be taking shin on chin shots, no knees, elbows, that kind of thing, but the body shots, the head shots, it still takes its toll away. And even though Jerome looks good after that round, he probably still did take a few hits that, you know, probably wouldn't say leaving him worse for wear, but he still took a little bit of damage in that fight, didn't he? A little bit. Or hardly any. Well, Shay's nodding his head. Oh, I guess what I'm trying to say is this is quite different from other tournaments in the fact that
you wear the damage and take it on to the next fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he didn't take on too much, so he is going to be looking good for the next one. We're just going to see how these other fights go. Are the guys going to get through by, you know, a brutal 3-rounder, or are they going to KO the guy on the first?
Absolutely. We can't call it too early. I mean, it is just the first fight. We don't know what the next 3 fights have in store. We may just change our mind in the next bout.
This is the beauty of it. You know, there's nothing more exciting than throwing 8 guys in, having elimination rounds, and then going through to see who actually will take this out.